Good morning, lovely people. I feel like vlogust was going really well, and then so my face looks chubbier than usual, and I really actually didn't want to come online and film a get ready with me video, but I thought just do it because you've been away now. I think I haven't posted on my channel for like 5, maybe 6 days. It's way too long. And the reason for this is I had to have an emergency wisdom tooth removal. So my face on this side, to me, I can see it on camera, it looks bloody awful. It looks like a hamster cheek. Yeah, not good. I feel very puffy in the face all over. I'm on day 3 now of having them out. I say them, there's another one to go, which isn't so bad, but this one is out, and this was the one that was causing me the problems, the trouble, the drama. I also feel like I've got a bit of like just scratchy throat, so everything's going really well today. So I thought what I would do is a little catch up. I don't know why my hair looks like this today. Let me sort that out because it's going to irritate me. Okay. Not that this is much better because it needs a wash, but you know, it was looking a bit like, well, I've dyed my roots too dark basically and I'm unhappy with it, but we can only move on from here. Anyway, this is a very uplifting video, isn't it, to start with? Where was I going with this? So, I feel like I should do a get ready with me. Let me just pop my hair. Right, the hair has gone up in a bun, which resembles Miss Trunchbull, but I just felt like that was annoying me. Anyway, I'm going to do a quick get ready with me whilst chatting through where I've been, why my face looks like this. There's quite a bit of a backstory actually, and yeah, stick around if you want to be uplifted. Today I can barely like even open my jaw properly as well. I've got like he basically stretched my mouth so much that it cut it on this side, so I can barely open that either. So that's glorious. Anyway, let's get into the chatty video whilst you watch me hilariously. I don't even know why I'm putting my makeup on. It's just to make myself feel a bit better because it's been days now and I'm like, I just want to feel like myself again. I'm just popping on the Giorgio Armani foundation. I will link everything as always. I'm feeling a bit brighter already just sitting here chatting to you because I've been like this all week. I feel like my jaw is sitting like so much further out as well, which is not doing things for my double chin, but hey ho. So where am I going with this? I feel like I need to give you the backstory. So I've always had, I will try and pop some, oh, it hurts to go over this cheek, remember that, Tiff. So I've had this impacted wisdom tooth for as long as I can remember. They've always kind of said to me, I had the top 2 out, paid privately for those because they were causing me hell with like infection after infection. Had those out like, I want to say 10-12 years ago, but they were so straightforward, pardon the pun, because they literally were straight. So literally all that happened there was one big massive pull and they were out, done. The brush I'm using, by the way, I really recommend these. They're from America, BK Beauty, but if you're serious about makeup and getting amazing finishes and stuff, these are the one. I just love using it too. And I think if you love using a brush and love using your products, you're way more likely to like spend time on your makeup and actually, you know, get the most out of it. I am smishing my face around here. Normally on clients, I'll like stipple in and pat. That's how to make your foundation lasts longer normally. But anyway, so I had these wisdom teeth out a while ago, and then when they did the top 2, they did obviously the x-rays, and they were like, your bottom 2 are really problematic. They're sitting sideways and they're impacted. And I was like, well, they don't cause me any harm. So like at that time they didn't, they really didn't. Like I never got any pain or anything. So I was like, well, we're leaving those. And I was so traumatized by the by even the top two coming out, because it was just, if you've ever had your teeth pulled, it's not a fun experience whatsoever. Moving on to the NARS Custard Concealer now. Anyway, so I was just sort of like, yeah, we'll leave the other two, they're not causing me any problems. And to be honest with you, they didn't cause me any problems until my whole body changed and Princess Olive was inside of me, which sounds just awful. But when I was pregnant with Olive, about 21 weeks, or was it even, do you know what, it might have been a little bit earlier than that. I woke up one morning with, and when I say excruciating pain, I mean excruciating pain, in this jaw. And it felt like someone was like stabbing or drilling through this bit of your like mandala. Is it oh God, I probably said that really wrong. Anyway, so painful. And obviously when you're pregnant, you cannot take any pain relief apart from paracetamol. So I rang up my dentist and I was like, my tooth is excruciating. And it was like that heat wave that we had. So I say this because I remember rolling around, like the only comfort I could get. I feel like pain is way more amplified in heat. Am I the only one? So I was rolling around on the kitchen floor, heavily pregnant. I say heavily pregnant. Probably wasn't even that pregnant, but because I carried big, I looked very much heavily pregnant. I thought, I don't need this. I've got sickness, I'm gagging, I've got sciatica, I've got everything else that goes with pregnancy, and now my teeth are playing up, which I then googled, thought it was a very normal thing that your teeth can sort of decide to flare up. Anyway, the dentists were like, we can't give you an x-ray, we can't give you any antibiotics because I'm allergic to penicillin, and the penicillin one was the only one that was sort of safe enough to give baby. And I was like, well, great, I'm just gonna have to sit here and suck it up. I think I got given codeine and I really didn't want to take it because I was one of those people in pregnancy, I was like, oh, I want to make sure everything's natural. I even felt bad about taking paracetamol because I was just convinced something bad was going to happen to Olive. Anyway, I'm on to my second concealer because we look like pure poo today. This is the Shape Tape, I can never say it, Tarte Shape Tape, and I've got light, so I don't put much of this on now. This is just to illuminate a little bit. So anyway, he couldn't do anything for me, my dentist, but hey ho, I just thought this is the sort of thing that just flares up in pregnancy. I'll get over it, and I did get over it. It was a solid like week and a half, 2 weeks of pain, to be honest with you. But, and when I say pain, I would say it was worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. And I say that with dead certainty because I've obviously had a C-section and the toothache was worse. Anyway, got through it with frozen peas, codeine or whatever it was, and paracetamol, which does nothing by the way. And just kind of had Olive, thought no more about it. Now since I've had Olive, my teeth have struggled. I've never had any struggles with my teeth. Really strong teeth, really good teeth. Can't see you say teeth properly at the minute because my mouth can't move teeth. But that is one thing that has, like, she's definitely, I've got glue on my eyelash, fabulous. Definitely she's taken from me is all my like good stuff in my teeth. Because since I've had her, I've had 2 fillings. Yeah, and they've not been, I've had 1 tooth break on me. It's not been great. And then when we were in Siam on our little holiday, there was a day I think I mentioned in my vlog, I woke up and I felt so puffy. I'm just using a little mini beauty blender just to merge that all in. I felt so puffy, and that day, I think I said to you guys, I haven't filmed much content today because I actually fell asleep on the bed. Not like me whatsoever. And I just didn't feel well. And to be honest with you, I haven't felt well since I had Olive. My body's felt very achy. I've just felt like really run down. Moving on to my favourite creamy concealer now. This is the Chanel cream bronzer. Love it so much, use it every day. So yeah, I just assumed you're supposed to feel shit after pregnancy. Everything, sorry to swear, everything you Google, they all say the same. It can take up to a year for you to feel yourself again. So I just was like, this is my life now. But looking back, and now I know what was going on inside that little tiny tooth that didn't look much of a problem. I'm now starting to question a lot more things, which I'll get onto. So anyway, on the holiday, it was niggling me, and I'd say for the last year, on and off, I have taken like some sort of pain relief, which I absolutely hate. If Jasmine's watching this video now, she'll laugh. Most of my friends know this about me. I hate taking any tablets. Don't ask me why. Well, do ask me why. I just think I'm one of these people, I'm like, my body will fight it, it's fine. Don't know what sort of weird behaviour that is, but I just feel like unless I'm in agony, I don't like to take tablets because I just think they're not great for your stomach. I know people can get addicted to things. I just don't think they're very good for you. So I'm like, unless I'm literally on my knees, I won't take anything. But I'd say the pain was like 5 or 6 out of 10 every single day since I've had Olive. And you know, like when you have a bad back or a bad shoulder or whatever, I don't know about you, but I'm just like, oh, everyone's got a bad back, you just deal with it. Everyone gets headaches, you just deal with it. And with this tooth, I think I got so used to it just always niggling that I was just like, oh, it's just what it is, just what it is. It's just the tooth growing and pushing, and it would tend to get worse as the more like run down and tired I was, which obviously was a lot when you have a newborn. So like I said, I just think it was masked for a while. I'd normally contour my jaw, guys, but is there any point? I look like SpongeBob, so we're just gonna slash soft from the Goonies. We're just gonna work with it. Just gonna use a setting powder. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish in Fair Pale, which I am not, but I only use a tiny bit to sort of set underneath my eyes, and then what I do use on my skin, I top off with like bronzer. So yeah, not that you needed that explanation. Anyway, so this little niggling pain went on, just taking tablets, feeling just crap. Since I've had Olive, I've just felt really, really rubbish. But just not really put myself first, just got on with it. Anyway, Monday rolls around, we've got back from CM. I didn't feel great there. Just felt quite like sweaty, unwell. Oh, should also mention this. When I was pregnant, I've never really had blood tests until I was pregnant. I had them when I was trying to figure out what was wrong with us fertility-wise. Going with my Hoola bronzer, by the way, guys. So when I was pregnant, I had lots of blood tests. And what was funny was, and I don't know if this is, I need to do some more reading into this, but it always came back as a high, slightly high white blood cell count. And they used to say to me, are you like unwell? Like, do you feel unwell? Like any infection? I was like, no, not that I knew of. So basically, cut into the chase, I did have a very like constant but small infection in my tooth. God knows how long that's been going on for. So now I think, and even when I was pregnant with Olive, they couldn't figure out why I had this little extra reading of the blood cells. They were like, but you're not having, there's no, they couldn't find anything. I think it was this infection that had just been sort of like slowly burning away at my body, which is so bad when you think about it, because it's very easily picked up by the x-ray that the dentist then did. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Anyway, I'm just skipping through now. So yeah, basically this little white blood cell thing was playing on my mind. Monday I wake up from after holiday and I'm like, holy Jesus, what's going on here? It was the same pain that I had when I was pregnant with Olive, and I can absolutely guarantee you I'm not pregnant. So I was like, oh no, it's back. Literally a year to the day I was like, oh God, something about this month is out to get me. So I was like, oh no. Took a painkiller and standard, and it wouldn't go away. And I was like, ibuprofen cures everything normally, doesn't it? Like, that's the one that you just think, right, sort it out, get rid of the pain. Spoke to my auntie because she came downstairs and she was like, you do not look okay. Dior blush. This is in the colour Coral, and it's so pretty. And I'm a little bit heartbroken because I'm so sorry for my scratchy voice. The Dior pan is rubbing off, and that makes me sad. So my auntie was like, if the pain does, she worked in care for years, and she's like, if the pain doesn't go away when you take tablets, that's usually a sign of infection. So I was like, oh, I mean, that's a beautiful face. That might be my thumbnail. Oh. I was like, fantastic. And I guess in the back of my mind, I knew something wasn't right, but I was so scared about getting these wisdom teeth out. I've also skipped another bit because I'm really rubbish at storytelling. So the other bit I was meant to tell you was, about 2 months ago, I was getting a little bit of a niggly pain again. Where's the highlight? Here it is, highlight time. And I said to my dentist when I went for my checkup, can you refer me? Because he had always told me the wisdom teeth needed operating on in theatre, like being put to sleep. That terrified me. Call me a baby, call me what you like. I know I've had a C-section. I've never been put to sleep. And I was like, no. But anyway, he was like, it's in the bone, it's growing in the bone, it needs to come out. If you want me to refer you, I suggest surgery. I was like, fabulous. I guess that's why I was putting it off. I don't know. But, oh, that's so refreshing on my tie-dye. I'm going to do it again. That ain't budging all day. So, yeah, I keep going backwards and forwards. I'm really, really good at this, aren't I? So, basically, when I woke up on the Monday morning, I was terrified. I'm going to just use a bronzer on my eyelid. I'm not doing anything fancy today, just to bring it all together. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I rang my dentist in pain, like, for an emergency appointment. Now, most of you will know, in the UK at the minute, getting a normal dentist appointment, I am registered with the NHS, and I was waiting for my referral to come back, but I hadn't even heard, this had been like nearly 2 months, I hadn't even heard anything back from them. So I was like, how long is this going to take? Like, I can only imagine to be put under with the hospital appointments the way they are. I was like, God knows how long I'm going to wait. But I thought it's better to start the process than not. So I rang my dentist up and I was like, I can't function. Like, Ollie was crying, I was sitting there crying with this toothache, sitting there with peas on my face. Tablets weren't working, and they were like, we're really sorry, we've got nothing today, we could maybe see you tomorrow, but it would only be to like look at it. They wouldn't be, he's like, we can't do anything because it needs, you know, you need a surgeon, and my dentist is not a surgeon. So I was like, terrific. I was like, well, you can't, like, you know when you're desperate and you're in pain and you just feel like, please don't leave me this way. Like, I feel like with teeth, it's a funny one. With, you know exactly where to go if you're in pain with your body, but I was just like, I've never needed emergency dental. So my auntie started like helping me, and she was like, just, you need to go to an emergency, you can't sit there like this. I was like, enough is enough. So we found this place in Peterborough, the dental hub. It looked so bougie, and I had marble and everything. I was like, this is gonna cost me, isn't it? Now I thought maybe like $250. I thought that would be quite fair. I'll get to the price in a minute. Anyway, right, time for some mascara. I don't think I'm gonna bother with eyeliner today, just mascara. I'm just using my little tester thing that I got from the Charlotte Tilbury order. It's bloody brilliant. I do like it, but it does smudge. It's great for like lengthening your lashes, but it smudges like a bitch. So we turn up at this hub, I think it's called Riverside Dental Hub, and they are amazing, and booked my appointment in for just 25 quid just to be seen. I thought that's fair, you know, hence why I'm thinking in my head, maybe it'll only be like $250 a tooth, which is still horrendous considering, well, I get upset because obviously as a small business owner, the money that I have pumped into this system is nothing short of disgusting when I think about it. Like, we're talking a lot. And it's not even about that. Do you know what? Everyone should be entitled. If you're paying your taxes and stuff, like, we should be entitled to this, but we're just, I paid private to get the top 2 out, so I was already bitter about that. And then I'm like, oh, I'm in so much pain. So in I go, and I was just a bit like, this sucks so much. I don't mind paying for things, but you know, if you're paying for dental and you get nice veneers out of it, you can accept it, right? I'm paying all this money just to go through torture. So I see this lovely, amazing dentist who has got a master's and everything, so he assured me everything was going to be okay, because I was like terrified of what was going to happen to me. And I'm not really scared of the dentist, full stop. I'm very scared of hospitals, not scared of the dentist, but I knew these bad boys were not easy to get out, otherwise they would have been pulled out by my dentist already. I knew what was in store. And he took an x-ray and he was like, I'm going to need a CT scan of this because it's in your bone and it looks quite nasty. I'd like to do a CT scan. So of course that's £95 more. Off I go to this CT scan. It does a whole circle. Now I've seen this thing before because I went with my friend Gemma to have her teeth done. And I was like fascinated by all the equipment and I was filming it for her. So I was like, okay, I know what this is. I'm okay with this. Anyway, got back in the room and he was like, right, it's a really complex removal. £480 on top of what I've already paid. And I was like, I burst into tears because he then said, I'm not going to be able to like pull this out. It's going to have to be cut into pieces. And I was like, I know this already. I've already read up on it on Google, which is why I've been dodging it for years. Anyway, he then says to me, and then at this point I've actually burst out crying. Don't judge me. I did burst out crying because, do you know when like you don't feel heard? I've just, I hate myself a little bit more every day. I just put my finger in my powder. So I was like, I burst into tears because he said to me, you have got, and this is what I said to my dentist, I've been in so much pain with this, right? And when he did the x-rays, my dentist, it's quite clear, and even the dentist that I saw at the hub, he was like, it's quite clear that tooth is broken, it has a cavity, and he said, he said, I can see 2 sites of infection. He said, how is this not picked up? And I was like, I burst into tears because I said, I have been telling my dentist for about a year now, there is severe pain in this tooth and it feels like, you know when you whack your tongue in there or your finger or whatever you do. I said to him, I was like, I have been trying to be heard for about a year and no one's listening to me. So I just burst into tears and he was like, it's a really nasty hole. He goes, you've got a lot of decay there. He said, it needs to come out. So off we go, £480 plus everything else on top. I go and pay and he says, look, and I just thought he could do it there and then I was like, just do it. If I wanted to be put to sleep, it was going to be costing me another £400 on top, and I'm terrified of being put to sleep. And also, who wants to spend that? Like, I was just like, it's going to be fine. I've had teeth out before. I'm not scared of the dentist. Pay the money and then basically had to go back at 6:30. Now, my husband had an interview that evening, a very important one, his final stage interview. So he couldn't come back with me. So Q, my bestie Jasmine, bless her heart, came back with me and she's like, I'll come with you. Because I was like, as childish as it sounds, I cannot go alone. I'll cookie crumble and just won't go. And I just feel, you know she was there through my birth. I just feel safe when I've got someone holding my hand. Judge me all you like. I'm just a baby. I'm just a baby. I just feel strength when people are with me and yeah, just telling me that things are going to be all right. Do you know what I mean? So we were told we had to come back at 6:30. I then started bursting into tears in the car. I feel like, and again, judge me all you like, I'm not sure what this is. I'm not scared of the dentist. But since having Olive and the emergency C-section, I have had real trauma when anything health-wise goes wrong. Like, I just went in. Sorry, I ran out of memory card space. Whoopsie. I can only think that it's triggered to that. I just, yeah, I just panicked, and it's not like me, and freaked out completely. Anyway, went back at 6:30. If I have any advice for anyone that needs a wisdom tooth out, if it's impacted and it looks like mine, like I said, I should have put the picture on the screen by now, please get put to sleep. Jasmine is horrified and traumatised. I am traumatised. It is the worst procedure I've had in my whole entire life, and poor guy, I could tell halfway through he was like, what have I done? Like, what have I started here? So everything started off well, and so many people have said to me, don't worry, as soon as you have the, you know, numbing injections, that's the worst bit, you won't feel anything. Well, that was kind of true. Did all the injections, they were okay. I've got quite a high pain threshold, believe it or not. And then he started like cutting away my my gum, and he had to obviously cut through the tooth because he couldn't pull it out in one fell swoop. Anyway, he starts cutting through, and I'm like, whoa, stop. I can feel that. Why can I feel that? And he was like, you have the worst something pulp I've ever seen. He said it was so inflamed because he said the decay has been there for so long. So that's awesome. So I was then upset because I was like, this whole time I knew there was a hole there. My dentist was like, no, there's not. And I was like, there's something not right there. Anyway, he was like, it's really inflamed. He was like, kept giving me more injections, and it just didn't seem to be working, because he was like, right, put your thumb up and tell me it's all okay. The minute you can feel something, you know, put your hand up, tell me to stop. And he was such an amazing dentist. Like, I hate to say it, but the difference in the dental field when you're paying for it is like quite significant. He was just wonderful, and I felt really safe in his hands, but also it was like low-key just terrified. Like, I was trembling. I have never been like that since I've had Olive, and I just think, is it some sort of trauma? I don't know. I really need to, when I recoup the cost of what I've just paid out for, need to pay for some therapy, I think, because I've been waiting for the birth afterthought service for so long, and that is like waiting forever, to be honest with you. So that's not a service that's like happening anytime soon. Need to save up some money for some therapy to deal with that trauma, because I just think that is not healthy for anybody. I guess those brows will do. That'll do, pig, that'll do. So I need to go and get some lashes now, because I've left them in the bathroom. I do my usual trick of taking them off, popping them on the shelf, which is just so trampy of me, but we're all real here. I've got my favourite lashes ever. I've just ordered these actually. Have I got them here? Probably not, they're on my bed. I ordered 5 for 35. If you put the code in, you get a discount. The Astra Lashes by Luxe Beauty. My friend Abby runs the company, and they're bloody amazing. Don't know where my tweezers are. They've done a disappearing. Oh no, they're there. Do apologise. Anyway, so he's drilling, and I'm still feeling the pain. He keeps like injecting loads of anaesthetic, and I still feel things, which makes me wonder, is there something wrong with me? Because when I was in labour with Olive, even though they gave me epidural, I could still feel some contractions. So I'm like, am I one of these people that have surgery and they're asleep and they can feel everything? Can you actually imagine? Maybe I'm one of those. Horrifying. So I'd rather not find out, to be honest. But so he was like, look, if this next thing doesn't work, which he didn't tell me what it was, he said, I might need to send you home and think of another treatment plan. And that treatment plan was put me to sleep. And I was like, no. At this point, I grabbed his arm and I was like, please, get it out. Just get it out. I was like, get it out. You know what it's like. And Jasmine was like, you look like you've had lip filler, baby. You look great. I was like, shut up. I was like, I couldn't care less at that moment what I looked like. I don't know how dentists genuinely don't like burst into tears laughing, because you must just look so tragic, and you're like, oh, I was crying the whole way through. I looked like hell. I must have just looked awful. And this dentist, sorry, he was like beautiful. Smelt of Baccarat Rouge, of course he did, if he's charging like £500 an appointment. Smelled incredible, looked incredible, and I was like, hello. It was just awful, an awful situation. And anyway, so I was like, please don't send me home. So little did I know, the next idea that he had up his sleeve was to inject me in my nerve. He was like, I don't do this very often. He was like, but it's the only way that we're going to be able to do it. He said, because it's so inflamed. So when I say to you, an injection in the nerve is the worst pain, I'd rather have, like, my biggest fear was always the injection in my back for a C-section. No. Sorry, it's rocking, by the way. I've got my arm on the drawer. The worst pain is an injection in your nerve. Don't worry about the epidural. Worry about having to have an injection in your nerve. I screamed. I'm so embarrassed when I think back. You know when you think back to like your birth or like any treatment you might have had or surgery, and you think, how embarrassing. I literally said to him at the end of the treatment, I was like, I really hope I never see you out and about. He said, don't worry, I live in Leicester. He said, it's highly unlikely. I was like, he knows I'm also embarrassed, and he's probably thinking I never want to bump into you ever again. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't know many people that would have been able to sit there in silence and not scream or cry. Oh, I hate my little crusty lip. At what I had done, because Jasmine like said to me afterwards, you're a hero. That was flipping horrendous. She needs her wisdom teeth out, ironically, and she was like, nope. I'm having surgery for that. I am not going through what you went through. So I know I wasn't, you know, making a mountain out of a molehill. And at the end of it, so basically injected my nerve. He gave me the maximum that I was allowed. He was like, I can't give you any more anaesthetic, so if this doesn't work, he was like, we're maxed. I was like, great, cool. I got my money's worth, basically. Have you noticed how much I've perked up throughout this video? It's because my painkillers are kicking in now. I'm like, yes, we are feeling revitalised. We are feeling 90%, I would say. Oh, my eyes are stuck. So he starts drilling away, and it's working. It's working, guys. I can no longer feel any pain. But then obviously I see Jasmine's like, he got this big screwdriver out, and he was like, That's when it ripped my lip. And it feels horrendous. The cracking of the tooth, all coming out in sections. And yeah, basically he had to shave a lot of my bone away. So that was fun. And that sounded horrendous. But anyway, it was all done and dusted. I sat up, and Jasmine said to me, she was like, she just looked at me like that, and I was like, what? She said it was like a horror film. You know when like they use those fake little pills for blood, like Dracula? She said you just sat up and it was like, what? She was like, well, I couldn't say anything because I didn't want to panic you. I'm just going with lip liner. It's the wrong colour lip liner for what I want to do on my lips. I should really use chicory or something like that from MAC, but we're not going anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. I'm probably going to go on a walk later, and that's about it. So, sat up and full of blood, like it was on my boobs, it was on my face. She said there was just blood flying everywhere, and teeth, bits of teeth. I asked to see my teeth because I'm weird like that. Possibly even keep it. And he was like, they're in millions of pieces, no. So I accepted that and went on my merry way. And Jasmine's traumatised, as am I. I've got one more to come out, which actually isn't causing me any pain. But I'm like, I don't want to risk that it might, because it is, again, impacted, and it's not. And funnily enough, the day after I had it done, my referral from the NHS came through. Funny that. And I was like, hell nah, I'm not doing that. But basically, at the end of the surgery, the dentist said, he put his hand on me, because I just said to him, thank you so much, I'm really sorry. Obviously I was the way I was. And he just went, I totally get it. He said, you must have been in a lot of pain. And he said, that is the worst extraction I have ever done. The most difficult one. So this guy's got a master's, and I'm the worst he's ever done. I was like, oh God, I am so sorry. So yeah, it's out. I'm glad it's out. And do you know what? The worrying thing, it's worrying and it's not. How, oh God, eyelash keeps getting stuck. How well I feel after that's been removed. I'm on antibiotics, I'm on really strong painkillers, but I feel so, like, I don't feel cloudy anymore. I don't feel foggy. My body doesn't feel fatigued. I've woken up like a different person, even though I'm obviously in a lot of pain. This pain of having bone shaved away and my tooth pulled is less than when I had that infection and the tooth decay. The pain of that was the worst. This recovery has been a piece of cake, because everyone was like, even the dentist was like, you're going to really struggle day 2, 3. He said, you're going to hate me. The pain is going to be excruciating. No, it hasn't been. And loads of people on Instagram messaged me saying the same. You're going to, you know, I know the pain. You're going to really struggle. The pain of the toothache was much, much worse. So I'm just going to put on this new lipstick that I've got. It's a MAC one. It's a velvet. And it's a Powder Kiss Velvet Blur. Brick Through. I really love this colour. It's really pretty. It's like dusky pink meets red, and they have a love affair, and it's a beautiful love affair. Right, I'm going to put it on, and then I can talk to you more about things. I gassed on for like 30 minutes, but I haven't been on here, so maybe you've missed me. Who knows? So there we go, just roughly put on, because like I say, I'm not really going anywhere, and I would normally put it on with a better lip liner, but hey ho, that's the look done. Easy peasy look in like under half an hour. It would have been quicker if I wasn't gassing on. But yeah, basically my little message to you is, if you know there's something wrong with your tooth, fight it. Because I literally just believe what the dentist told me, that I was making it up, basically. Not that I was making it up, it's not how he made me feel, but it was just like, he just kept saying there was no problem. And I was like, okay then, you know your own body, listen to your own body, trust your gut. And I'm fuming that it had to take me £500 to get it out, but your health's your wealth. I honestly, yeah, I'm so glad it's gone. I feel like now, like, it was so stupid. I would dread like holidays or anything like that in case it flared up. So I was like, what if I, you know, the pressure of an airplane, I was like, what if I get on there and it starts flaring up or I'm away? And it used to make me miserable. You know when you're in pain and you're just a bit ratty? That's what it would be like every day for me the last few months. So yeah, please get it looked at. And I know it's a lot of money, but sometimes it is just worth just saying, you know what, I've put up with this for long enough now. It's got to be done. So yeah, it's out. I'm hoping now that I can continue with Vlogmas. No, we're nearly in Vlogmas, how long it's taken me to get through this. Vlogust. I'm hoping I can carry on with the vlogs. And I'm just sorry for the absence. I hope this explains where I've been, because there was no way I already still feel so... There was no way I was picking up the camera. I feel like a little bit of, a little bit of the dissolvable stitch was deciding to go down my throat. No. Not on camera, please. So yeah, I just feel like I owed you an explanation where I've been, because I felt like I was doing really well. And it'd be interesting to see how my health improves and stuff like that now that the badness is out of me, because it's just, infection in your body is so bad. Like, I know a lot of friends, and I used to get them, like, used to get water infections and stuff, and they were like, oh, it'll be all right, I'll just get rid of it with cranberry. And I'm like, infection in your body is bloody awful. Like, it really affects everything. It affects your brain, like your memory, like you sweat, you feel balmy, you feel crap. And I just wish I'd done something about it sooner. I think the fear stopped me, and also because my dentist was telling me it was okay, kind of stopped me. And I was like, well, it's probably just pressure on it growing, and that's just normal and to be expected. But I go back on Monday, bank holiday, to get it checked. And I'm 3 days in, and I can open my jaw, and I can see, like, I'm not having any bleeding. Like, I can eat a little bit. I've been like shoving things in, having baby porridge, potato waffles, things like that, noodles, all the soft stuff. But some of my friends that have had this done 3 weeks in, they're like, I still can't chew properly. And I'm like, well, this fatty can. Thank God I can get back to eating normal food soon. But yeah, I just thought I'd do this quick chatty, get ready. Well, it's not quick, is it? Blabbed on. I have missed YouTube. I hope you've missed me. I feel like if I feel a lot better in myself, hopefully I'll be putting a lot more content out there because I won't feel so down in the dumps and rubbish all the time. But if you like this makeup look, give it a thumbs up. I don't want to be that person, but I'm going to be that person because, yeah, I'd love to grow my channel. And if you want to share me with your friends, I'd love that too. I'll link all the makeup products here for you. And yes, I think I've gone on for long enough, so goodbye. I need a drink because I feel like I'm gonna go squeaky in a minute. But thank you for sitting with me and hearing about my medical mishaps. And I'll see you in my next video, which should hopefully be a vlogust video. So see you next one. See you next one. See you in the next one. Goodbye.